Well, it's human nature that when one's child, when one's relative is harmed, the mother goes after it. And I'll tell you what, Suzanne Swift has a mother like we all ought to have. Sarah Rich has been a voice that we all need, a voice of conscience for not only her daughter and what's happened to her, but for the rest of us. Sarah Rich.
Thank you for being here. Yesterday when my PR person called and did the media release, she was told by a few people that it would be a tough day for them to come cover Suzanne's story because, you know, the Seahawks are playing today. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I appreciate you more than I can tell you. And I have to say, that my daughter Suzanne is my hero, that I was so proud of her when she put on her sack and went to Iraq, and when she came home I was so proud of her, and when she went AWOL, when she made that decision, that reaction to go AWOL, she was my hero. So I want you to know that she is absolutely one of the strongest people I know, and I love her with all my heart. So I want to continue with what I wrote on little pink paper. All right, as our world slips into international crisis, our attention moves in many directions. My focus through these times remains at a very personal issue. My daughter is still being held at Fort Lewis against her will. It has been 63 days since my daughter, who served a year in Iraq, while being harassed and assaulted, was taken from my home in handcuffs, put in jail, strip-searched, and treated like a common criminal. She has been returned to active duty while she waits for her fate with the Army to be decided. So we wait. We wait to see if she will be granted the honorable discharge with full benefits, or will she be charged and treated as a criminal while the perpetrators who abused her go free. This is a familiar story. Since my daughter was arrested, we have heard from hundreds of military, both vets and active, all with the same story. This happened to me, and nobody helped. It was swept under the carpet, and my attackers went free. Women like Jessica in South Korea and Lawanda in Afghanistan who are suffering right this minute. Right now, soldiers who are serving in the military are being raped, and no one is helping them get the care they need. My last email from Lawanda was that she attempted suicide. This attempt finally got some attention, and her command started to help her. These stories and many others are what keep us firmly on the path to find a way to hold the U.S. military accountable to protect these soldiers from rape and assault and harassment. My grandpa was a U.S. Army colonel, and he taught me how to fight for what is right. And this happens, when this happened to my daughter, what happened to my daughter is not only not right, it is an epidemic. And although the Pentagon has created 22 commissions and task forces around military sexual assault and trauma, the predators are still roaming free while our young soldiers are at risk, not only from combat they face, but from their superiors. We have to demand an end to military sexual violence. The voices of these women behind me and these women vets are clear and strong, and I urge you, the media, to listen to us. Suzanne Swift deserves her freedom from the institution which allowed this trauma and abuse to occur. I want to thank everybody that's here right now in this room for holding this space for Suzanne, knowing that the right action is going to be happening. The Iraq Veterans Against the War, I want to thank you. I want to thank Code Pink and Vets for Peace and Military Families Speak Out. Without, and if I'm forgetting somebody, I apologize.
Gold Star Families.
Gold Star Families, well, that, yeah, Gold Star Families. I can't tell you the strength that we have received and the energy and power we have received from these organizations. For everybody that's done a rally or written a congressman or a senator, I thank you, thank you, thank you. Free my daughter and stop military sexual violence and command rape now. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, we have stories from so many women that are right here, women veterans who have had the same thing happen to them that Suzanne has had. As a senior military woman officer, I demand that the commanding general of I Corps at Fort Lewis, Washington, immediately discharge Suzanne Swift, immediately give her an honorable discharge, and immediately provide her with medical help and emotional help to get over the criminal activity that that command has allowed to go on. And if Suzanne is not discharged and released from the military in 5 days, I call upon all of the people in the Seattle area to march to Fort Lewis, Washington every single day and hold a demonstration outside the gates of Fort Lewis until that woman is released and given an honorable discharge and provided with medical care. Many of us will be going to Washington, D.C. the first part of September for Camp Democracy, and I can guarantee you, the United States military and the United States Army, if Suzanne is not released by that time, you will have a demonstration every single day in front of the Pentagon, in front of the White House, in front of Congress. We are not going to let this continue. We call upon all women of the military, if this has happened to you, please notify us. Notify us through Veterans for Peace or through Iraq Veterans Against the War or any of the other organizations that are represented here. We will be working on your behalf. We will go directly to your chain of command and we will demand immediate response to get you out of the dangerous and harmful environment that you're in. We will be relentless on this. The military has to be held accountable, and the accountability starts now. So we have lots of work to do on behalf of our military. We want a professional military that's here for the defense of our country. We want our military people. We are the military. We are the veterans of the military, and we will not stand for the degradation, the unprofessional behavior of the senior leadership of the Department of Defense and senior military leaders that are letting this go on. So we've got lots of work to do. We have the rest of our convention here at Veterans for Peace. We have lots of things that are happening in the next week. We all have to put down whatever we think is important in our lives and really look at what's important for our military and the men and women in this military. So please, we call upon you for action. We'll need your help next week here at Fort Lewis. We'll need your help in Washington. We will resolve this problem, and no more sexual assaults on men and women in the military. Thank you all.